right now, the City Council Immigrant Rights Committee is meeting at City Hall. The goal is to figure out how the mayor's office, the Office of Emergency Management and Communications, the police department, and other advocacy groups can work together to help the new arrivals. Right now, about 9,000 migrants have found space in shelters, but more than 2,000 are still at police stations or airports. And shelters and police stations are both at near capacity. Pilsen will be a new home to a new shelter at West 72nd and Halstead. City leaders are still moving forward with the $29 million contract to build winterized tents in Chicago for a migrant city, if you will. Chicago is a sanctuary city in the midst of a migrant crisis. Thousands of people have been dropped off from Texas. Millions of tax dollars have been spent. And the city struggles to find the best way to house and care for them. How to proceed? Well, two aldermen want to let you decide. Joining me now is one of those aldermen, Anthony Beale of the 9th Ward. Alderman, thank you for coming on the stream today. Alderman, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Great. Thank you for coming on the stream today. We appreciate having you. Chicago has long been a sanctuary city since basically its founding, hundreds of years. You say, this crisis is more than we can handle, and many agree. We're talking about pop-up camps, and now we've got upwards of 15,000 new migrants here, 2,000 in police stations and at O'Hare. You want the people to vote on it, a referendum to say what? This is enough? We don't want this? What say you?
Well, I think what we need clarity. First of all, the people of Chicago have never been asked, do they want to remain a sanctuary city? We are a city of migrants, and we want to continue that because that's the heart and the fabric of Chicago. But at the same time, what we're dealing with today is not what we were dealing with 40 years ago. And so I think the people of Chicago need to be asked that question. Do we want to remain a sanctuary city? Number one. Number two, do we want to continue to spend upwards to $500-600 million a year on the crisis that we're dealing with? Mm-hmm. The entire country is not dealing with this problem, only certain cities. And this is a federal problem that we're having to deal with. And I think we need to really right the course that we're on right now, because right now we cannot continue to sustain spending $500-600 million today, and tomorrow it's going to be over $1 billion a year. That is not what we signed up for as a sanctuary city. And so I think we need to redefine it. We need to change the conversation. And I think we need to do something and really put the pressure on the federal government to do something about this problem.
Yeah, right now we are doing it largely, almost entirely without federal funding. So opponents of your proposal have been called, you say you're singing a tune for extreme right-wingers, taking a page from Texas Governor Abbott's playbook. He, of course, is sending the migrants here. I'm sure you've been called worse, too. What do you say to that?
Well, look, when you start showing true leadership, you're going to get criticized, and they're going to criticize you from one end to the other. And so my thing is, nobody has ever asked the question. This was the sanctuary city was done by executive order. It was not ever posed to the people of the city of Chicago. And again, when it was done under the right pretense 40 years ago. It has never been really changed to the problem that we're dealing with today. And so, no, they're going to say what they want to say to fit their narrative. I get that. But at the same time, ask the people of the city of Chicago who can't get their street resurfaced, who can't get a hot water heater, who can't get a porch, who can't get a furnace, who can't get a roof because they're saying, we don't have the resources and we don't have the money for those particular programs here in the city of Chicago, but we can find $500-600 million from out of nowhere to just continue to spend. But the people who have lived their life here in the city of Chicago are being denied services and goods. We're down 2,300 police. We need to be hiring police. So, we have a huge problem that needs to be addressed. And right now, I think this is really sounding the alarm that we are in a crisis and we need to do something about it. And I'm sorry, I'm not ashamed to say it.
We've gone from a city of open arms when this first started a couple of years ago to really a city up in arms. Where do you have you evolved? Has your feelings evolved over the past 2 years to where the point where you had open arms to now you are up in arms?
Well, most definitely. And that's why I'm trying to sound the alarm that we have a problem. And right now, the problem is not being addressed. We're just basically putting out fires at the tune of a lot of money. And so these people who are coming in, getting these big contracts, that are not coming before the people to say, you know, do we want to do this $29 million contract? That was done under the smoke and mirrors that we have right now. And so bring that stuff to the people. Bring that to us and let us decide. You know, how do you contract with a company who's already busing them here? They're being paid to organize to bring them here. Now they're going to be paid to set up tents and being paid to provide services and goods. And, you know, you're getting money on both ends. When we have people here in the city of Chicago that can do that, that's not a contract that is being forthright and being brought to the people. So, again, we need to shine a light on this whole process. We're spending a lot of money. And right now, you might as well take that money out back, put it in a barrel, and put a match to it, because that's what we're doing. We're just burning money, and we're not getting anything in return.
$29 million specifically. You're talking about the potential contract for the quote-unquote tent city that no one knows what that will look like. Alderman Anthony Beale of the 9th Ward, appreciate your voice as always. Chatham, Roseland, and more, that's what you cover. Thank you for coming on the stream for that explanation, and let's have you back soon.
No problem. Thanks for having me.